Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start the lesson, the later Vedic civilization. We are only starting the first two pages. Previous lesson we have already revised. In the worksheet I have given you question answers. Today short questions I have given you. Practice those first. Then in next worksheet you will get the long questions also. And today I am starting the later Vedic civilization, as we have completed the early Vedic civilization. So today we will do the later Vedic civilization. The later Vedas, the period from 1000 BC to 500 BC, during which the Indo-Aryans settled in Gangetic Valley, is known as the later Vedic period. The three later Vedas, the Atharva Veda, the Samaveda, and the Yajurveda, and the Upanishads are supposed to have been composed during this period. So you can underline this part. The two great Indian epics, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, were written during this period. Epics are lengthy poems that describe the brave deeds and adventures of warriors. Historians also refer to this period as the epic age. The life of the Aryans during this age has been reconstructed on the basis of the information gathering from the three later Vedas, that is the epics as well as the recent archaeological evidences from regions such as the Hastinapur near the present day Meerut and the upper Gangetic plains. Excavations indicate the use of iron during this period. Political organization. During the later Vedic period, there were small tribal organizations. So in the previous part what we have understand that the life of Aryans during the later Vedic age was reconstructed and full of information gathering. With the help of the three Vedas we understand even the epics as well as the recent archaeological evidences also have given us a lot of information. The evidences in the regions near Hastinapur, which is a highly religious place, and many religious evidences have also been found in this region. Political organization. During the later Vedic period, small tribal organizations expanded and developed into large kingdoms. Some of the kingdoms established by Indo-Aryans were Kuru near present-day Delhi, Kosala, Awadh, Magadha, Patna and Gaya, and Kashi, Varanasi. The kings became powerful and kingship became hereditary. The Sabha and Samiti lost much of their control over the king. As the kingdom increased in size, the administration became more and more complex. Administration became much bigger, much vast. The king was assisted by many officials who were put in charge of different departments in the administrative work, in the court work of the rulers. When the king ascended the throne, the Purohita performed the Rajasuya Yajna, which we have read in previous also. What is Rajasuya Yajna? Rajasuya Yajna means when a king ascends the throne, a type of worship, a puja is done in which the king is given ceremonial blessings and all to sit in the throne. The king was elevated to the position of a god's representative on earth. King is given a representative of God on the earth. Very prestigious honor is given to them. The Ashwamedha Yajna, that is horse sacrifice, was also performed to establish his undisputed authority over the territory, through which the horse moved unchallenged. Next, social life, classification of the society. The classification of society into four varnas now became rigid and hereditary. The four classes came to be known as the four castes. Classes came to be known as the four castes, with the son of a Kshatriya could not become a Brahmana. Caste was now decided by birth and not by occupation. Inter-caste marriages were not allowed as the caste system became deep rooted. Society got sharply divided. The Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas formed the ruling class. Now the society became rigid. The class system had become rigid, strict. When a person born in a particular system, class system, will maintain that only. As the caste system became deep rooted, society got sharply divided. Brahman, Kshatriyas formed the ruling class. Vaishyas were the artisans, the traders, and farmers. The Shudras were the uneducated workers who served the other three classes. Family. So, what about the family life of the later Vedic Aryans? Joint family system was further strengthened. Joint family system only continued. The birth of a son was welcomed. The position of women also declined. They were now considered inferior to men. They no longer took part in assemblies. Their highest duty was to serve their husbands and take care of the family. However, they continued to participate in religious ceremonies also. The four ashramas. So, family in that position of women has declined. From this, we understand slowly it declined. They were considered inferior and with much less knowledge than men. They were not given importance in later Vedic period. Men and male members were only given more importance in the later Vedic period. So they continued to participate in religious ceremonies only. Now, the four ashrama system had also started. Life of the Aryans was divided into four stages or ashramas. Brahmacharya was the first stage of the life, during which a person stayed with his guru in the Gurukul and received education. What is this Brahmacharya first stage? In this, when a student, a person is staying with the guru, he receives the education there. Wherever his guru is staying, he has to stay with the guru in that place, and the guru will guide him in all the matters. Grihastha stage is there in the life, was the second stage in person's life, during which he got married and led a family life as a householder. Vanaprastha was the stage when he gave up all the worldly ties and went away to the forest to meditate. What is Vanaprastha? Vanaprastha was a stage when he gave up all the worldly ties. Whatever marriage or responsibilities, whatever he will leave those and he will go in the Vanaprastha stage, where he will go in the forest or any silent peaceful areas, and he will leave all the worldly ties and went into the forest to meditate, deep meditation. Sannyasa was the last stage of life when he renounced all the worldly ties and became an ascetic, spreading the principles of religion and truth. The Gurukul system of education. When a boy was 7 years old, he was sent to a Gurukul, that is the house of a teacher or guru. He stayed there till he was 25 years old. Gurukuls were usually situated deep in the forest. The teacher treated his students like his children, and the children regarded the teacher as their spiritual father. The students led simple and highly disciplined lives. They helped their guru in many ways. The student cleaned the house, drew water from the well, gathered wood, and worked in the fields. They had to memorize lessons which were taught orally. After completing their education, the students paid Guru Dakshina or fees according to their means, no forceful. In early Vedic period, there were highly educated women like Maitreyi and Gargi, but in later Vedic period, however, women were not allowed to study the Vedic literature. They were denied from studying. It was a part of their custom, religion, which has entered a new form of society. Today, till this much we'll do in the lesson. So let us revise a little bit, few parts. So, what do you understand now by the later Vedas? So, later Vedas, we get the information that the later Vedas with Upanishads and epics give, like Ramayana and Mahabharata, gives us very good information about the life of the Aryans, how they lived, how they survived, what type of competitions they were facing in those times. So these all were discussed in the Vedas, from which we get the information. Very valuable information. Life of the Aryans during this age has been reconstructed on the basis of these informations only. The political organizations have been spread into small tribal organization, expanded and developed into large kingdom system. Kingdom, rulers, these all things started to develop. The planning system of making an empire, these all systems started to develop during this period only. So some of the kingdoms like Kuru, Kosala, Magadha, Kashi, these all were the powerful centers of administration where Aryans started to settle. The kings became powerful and kingship became hereditary. The Sabha and Samiti also lost much of the control. Now king had become the supreme power. So the kingdom size also increased, and thus administration also increased, and administrative persons which were required to run the administration also increased, like Khatriyas, like nobles, like the courtmen. These all people who run the administration was required to run the administrative things properly. Rajasuya Yajna, Ashwamedha Yajnas became important ceremonies during this period. It started Rajasuya Yajna when the king used to sit in the throne. Before that, the pujas and worshipping were done. Similarly, Ashwamedha was there. Horse sacrifice was performed to establish undisputed authority. Means, what was this Ashwamedha Yajna? A horse was set free from a kingdom. Under the kings, one horse was set free. With the flag of that kingdom was tied in the horse, and without any restriction, the horse was set free. And then, behind the horse, there were certain people, the king people, army or Kshatriya men, who used to follow the horse, and the horse used to move from kingdom, from boundary to boundary, territory to territory. Now, whichever territory the horse was stopped or restricted by any kingdom or any tribe groups, so that particular group or kingdom has, or any territory owner has to fight with the king's the whose horse was the of the owner of the king. With that, they have to fight. They have to challenge. It was a challenge taken. So they had to fight, and if they win, then that territory was their own, and if they are defeated, then the territory goes in the hands of the owner of the horse, that is the king, who has set free the horse in their territory. So this was the system of the Ashwamedha. Okay, so Ashwamedha Yajna was performed by many powerful kings. After Yajna, the horse was decorated with the king's emblem and set free to roam at will. At will means at his own wish. And the region through which the horse passed came under the ruler's control only, who had performed the Ashwamedha Yajna. And if the horse was stopped by any other king, a war was followed, and victorious king annexed the defeated king's territory. The war was there. The challenging done to the horse means war will be there, and thus in this particular situation the territory, defeated territory, comes into the hands of the king's territory. So these are the certain systems which had started during the later Vedic civilization. Advanced informative forms have now started. They have come into systematic forms in religion, in class system, in artistry skills. You can tell artisans, farmers, in religion, and in the family system. So there were little systems and customs which were being followed in their society, which they have to strictly follow. Okay, so in this we are completing the half part, that is still your topic, that is the Gurukul system of education. Till that we are completing. Okay, in the next class we will complete the next part. Till this much only you read, don't read the whole now. Okay, to revise from the later Vedas till the Gurukul, which I have explained, read it. Okay, from that part read it. In the next class I will give you the worksheets, few answers also, and previous chapters, that is early Vedic civilizations, answers of long questions I will give you. First short questions you solve and practice those in your copies. Okay, first do that those and read the lesson, and then long question, the next worksheet also I give you, and later Vedic civilization practice things also I will give you. So first read the lesson in today's worksheet. Okay, thank you.